you've been so authentic and so real over the years about the pain of professionals, you know, not earning what they deserve.
Exactly.
And we can clearly tell from your story that you discovered your life purpose early, but then the money or the math, as they say, wasn't mathing. Right?
The math was not mathing.
Hi, my name is Stella Kigutanganga and welcome to the Kingdom Connect show, where we connect kingdom marketplace leaders to you and where we speak about faith, about purpose, about business, and about making a difference in our communities. Join us on all our social media platforms, click and subscribe, and join us for interesting, exciting, insightful, and impactful episodes.
I went through severe illnesses when I started my private practice, which grew very fast, and I really had to even drop it down a bit to balance family.
Yeah.
But with time I realized when I'm unwell, then there's no money coming.
Right.
So this idea that private practice is where the money is, I would borrow from Robert Kiyosaki. Most people are in the E quadrant, the employment quadrant, which is what the society sells to us.
Yeah.
And many of us are stuck there, have tried to explain to younger doctors who are jobless. In this country, we have about 4,000-5,000 doctors after internship who have no jobs.
Wow.
And trying to help them adjust their mind that it's not only medicine you can do.
Right.
You can consider doing other things. Has not been easy. So open up your minds and consider other things. Open up your minds to set up businesses. But remember, when you are setting a business from your profession, like for me, I set up Essential Cardio Services as a cardiologist.
Right.
And I realized getting cardiologists to employ was not easy. So make sure you do your work well. And at the end of the day, before you quit employment or even your sole proprietorship, remember, don't work to raise money just to pay bills. If that's all you do, and many of us, when we hear the word reward yourself, pay yourself first, we buy ourselves suits, take ourselves on holidays.
Right.
Kindly, when we are told pay yourself first, it's saying we are being advised, put that money in a place like a money market fund or another form of investment where the money can grow without you having to show up. You have the money employs people to manage it and make it grow.
And I think that's the place for personal development and the mindset shift and what we've been trying to teach people in the last 13 years from a very balanced perspective, that you're not only pursuing your passion and your purpose, but you've got to understand finances.
Exactly. In fact, allow me to make a comment here, Irene.
Yeah.
I learned, by the time it became clear to me, 08. I had been a doctor for how many years? From 93? That's when it loaded. My financial intelligence was below sea level. Despite having been through medical school, having done a master's, having done a fellowship in cardiology, in medical school, at whatever level, nobody teaches about money.
And that is why this show comes to you, because we want to have real, authentic conversation with professionals as we invite you to Personal Development Institute and also to the Kingdom Connect, where we are rethinking the issues of money, investment, but not only that, we are looking at life wholesome, because as you've talked about, there are also people that have a lot of soul wounds as a result of that financial frustration. Then they develop diseases. Can you talk about that?
In fact, recently, I was having a conversation with my fellow cardiologists, and I was talking about soul health. And I remember asking them, how healthy are your souls? How healthy are the souls of your clients?
Right.
you should have felt the silence in the room.
Right.
And everybody clearly, we realize many doctors, I'm not here to defend errors that we do or that happen in the health sector. But many people in the health sector are very frustrated. They expected money in the field. The society expects doctors to be very wealthy. So you expect them to drive a certain kind of a car.
Right.
You expect them to live in a certain kind of environment. You expect them to take your schools to the institutions.
Academies.
You know, the institutions of learning, group of schools, you know? Not just ordinary, but your salary cannot, I say it here authentically, the highest paid specialist in Nairobi cannot sustain a family in Nairobi based on their salary.
Alone. They have to be doing something else. Right.
So most of them end up in private practice. So they work literally 24/7. They are tired, they are hungry, angry, broke, frustrated. So you get to see them, they don't want to give you time. It's out, and I'm sure it's not just doctors who go through this.
Right.
That's why you find we meet professionals and they don't seem to be very kind to you because they are hurting.
I saw that in the banking industry where I worked for 10 years, bankers handling money every day, but totally broke.
So it's not just doctors.
Yeah, basically caught up in the rat race. Accountants, auditors who can do the balance sheet, but at a personal level, it's a different story.
I'm shocked even people who do masters in entrepreneurship remain broke.
Exactly. And this is what this show is about. You're going to love it because we are here to say it's not because we've totally figured it out, but at least we are honest enough to say something needs to change. And not just for us as adults, something needs to change in terms of what we are teaching our children. And we are so grateful to God that we have what we now call the TKC kids, we have the TKC teens and young adults, because the narrative at some point must change. Otherwise, daktari watu watakuwa wagonjwa sana. I actually remember you saying in another forum that was he ahead of the cardiology in Africa committed suicide?
Oh, yes. It was a very, very painful experience for us. It happened in 2019.
Wow.
Actually, it was during our annual congress, like what I was referring to in July. I was part of an international clinical trial.
Yeah.
We were doing on certain medications for hypertension that had not been studied in Africa, among Africans, because of most of the trials, we find ourselves as Africa, we borrow data from out there and apply it to us. And we are aware genetically we vary.
Right.
So I was privileged to have been part of there were about 12 countries that were involved. I was a COP here in Kenya. And in April, we had a meeting in Nairobi at Fairview.
Yeah.
And he spoke to us. None of us ever thought or imagined that he was depressed.
Wow.
But I'll never forget that gala night dinner, and we were busy dancing. Mugithi cardiologists love dancing because dancing
at least they've got to
exercise.
let off the stress.
You need to let off the stress.
Yeah.
And dancing is a very useful form of exercise. And you know, exercise is critical for health.
Yeah.
And somebody stopped in the middle, just when tulikuwa tumeingia. You know, and we were so excited. And then we are told, sorry to announce, we've just lost Professor, I think he was called Mayosi.
Oh.
And it was so painful.
Yeah.
Actually, the results of that trial were not out.
Wow.
It was very painful. He was the president of the Pan-African Society of Cardiology.
Yeah.
We only got to learn later. He had been going through depression.
Right.
But because many of us are experts in mascara therapy, like Pastor R.C. Blake calls it, it's not my own invention, but I picked that because I've been one of those who are very good in mascara therapy, have been through severe depression. So Irene, you know my part of my journey.
Yeah.
But God helped me not to choose to die.
Yeah.
It was painful to learn he committed suicide.
And that is why we want to have authentic conversations. I mean, all of us show up in the marketplace and we want to specifically speak to those that are kingdom-minded, but we are hurting. And as much as we may not have all the solutions, speaking is a form of therapy. People have got to speak up so that what is eating them on the inside, there can be a cure to this daktari.
I always say bottled emotions are the most dangerous emotions that we carry.
Right.
Too many of us are too embarrassed to acknowledge they are hurting.
Right.
Others have accepted pain as a way of life, and the younger people say it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But that just keeps on building and building.
Mm-hmm.
And many people who come to see us, like I can tell you, and I tell my medical students, when a patient tells you that my heart is paining, relax, that heart is normal.
Wow.
Because when you are literally feeling the pain in the physical position of the heart,
Mm-hmm.
when the heart actually has pain, the pain doesn't go there.
Right.
It tends to, it may have a little bit of it there, but you feel that pain at the angle of your, at the neck, at the angle of your jaw, at the inner arm, when you have what we call ischemic heart disease.
Yeah.
But when somebody is saying, my heart is paining, moyo wangu unauma, that is telling you they are hurting. The pain is a heart, not physical.
I remember you telling us in a PDI class in 2010, and I was very shocked to learn that from you in the health and wellness module, that 50% of all physical diseases are first emotional. Something every one of us who walks to see a doctor, whether it's a cardiologist or any other, specialist, has first, is first having feelings, that are not in the right place.
That was then, it was 50%. Now, it's at least 70%.
What?
And especially with the COVID.
Yeah.
COVID hit the world really badly. And the media sowed fear.
Right.
And people bought the fear. We feared one another. You didn't even want to meet.
We didn't even go to, some of us who don't stay with their parents.
You couldn't visit your parents.
Couldn't visit parents.
The chiefs were on alert. Ukionekana, I wanted to go home, but I was told my colleagues on the other side, my siblings on the other side are saying, you're not safe for mom. Because for me, I wasn't afraid.
Yeah. Because
God revealed the spiritual aspect of COVID for me even before it arrived in Kenya. So I had a response, and I speak this without any fear, because this is the Kingdom Connect.
Sure.
And we are talking about being ambassadors of the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
But many of us were caught off guard. So fear took over.
Yeah.
Many clients are treated for COVID in my own clinic, Irene, who were actually coughing with the typical COVID.
Yeah.
I never sent them to a ward.
Wow.
Because I knew fear, isolation, and people are wearing those weird masks. Somebody used to call them acrobatics. Nobody could talk to you.
Yeah.
The loneliness,
Right.
the fear, the anxiety, the most of them would die.
I actually remember calling you at that time. I was doing a 3 weeks corporate training in Arusha, and I think week 1 I was fine. Week 2 I started having a small sweat, and I called you in total panic, because then you thought if you get this thing you're going to die. So I noticed from your social media handle you've just come back from attending, was it called the European Cardiology?
European Society of Cardiology Annual Congress?
Yeah, in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam.
What were the conversation like? Because even in this show, we want to know what's happening. What were the conversation like in terms of long COVID?
I love
so that I
the
center us
reality.
back to the issue of purpose.
I loved the reality of the scientific world now accepting and acknowledging there is long-term COVID.
Right.
Before, in 2021, I had to do a presentation on clots and COVID. And one of the things that came out very clear, how it affects the heart and other organs, it was very, very clear, already scientifically proven by November 2021, that the patients who had had COVID in 2020, quite a number were still experiencing symptoms in the brain, in the heart, forming clots, and all that. And of course, some were even on wheelchairs. And then there were effects of the COVID vaccine causing clots. This is data open. You can search in the major scientific data journals, peer-reviewed publications, that there were clots following COVID vaccine, and they were not ordinary. Actually, patients with COVID would form clots even when they are on medication to prevent clot formation.
And
that has never fully ended. People are developing clots after, and many of them are dying suddenly. Now, during the ESC 2023, I was happy that there was a session to discuss the impact of soul health, the mental health, the emotions on the globe from COVID and its long term. The losses that happened, people grieved a lot. Some are still grieving. Others are still experiencing unexplainable symptoms that have no cure. And now the world has accepted, cardiologists in the world are saying the mental health was damaged.
Wow. And that can be scary, Daktari, because many of us did take the COVID jabs because we believed that was the way out. It's what was selling in the mainstream media. And thank God that we can have this kind of show and have this, disrupt the narrative. What would you say to somebody who lives with that fear of what the jab could do to them?
I'm glad we are talking from a Christian perspective. And there's no problem God cannot solve. So first of all, don't fall victim to fear. You did what you were made to do. It was demanded. Quite a number of people may not have wanted the vaccines, but they were forced to get it. But there's nothing God cannot solve. So first of all, don't sit waiting for your next sudden death, or the next clots, or the next dementia, because quite a number of people are having their minds affected, or for your next nerve disease like multiple sclerosis, which have been known as long-term effects of COVID. There is hope. There is hope. It's not the end of the world. And the greatest hope is in Jesus. But there are also some medications. And a lot of people, quite a large group of what is helping deal with long-term COVID has to do with healthy diet, especially diets rich in vegetables, fruits, and supplements. The supplements of D, E, the multi-minerals, they do help in handling long-term COVID, but more so because the emotional health is the most affected. If you find you're in that space, you can't quite control your fear, reach out to a specialized health service provider in terms of therapy. They will guide you, they will help you assess yourself. If you require medical therapy to help calm your emotions, so that now you can be able to make decisions when your soul is calm, they will give it. If you don't need it, you will have those conversations that will help you know, I can pass. The fear can go under the bridge and face the world confidently. There is hope, but I will alert us. There are new diseases being planned, and they've already done simulation of how news will be being read.
Wow.
Let us not be caught off guard like the other time. Let us not allow fear to rule our lives. Fear reduces your immunity by at least 50%. So it finds your body already in a state. It can't fight the disease. So let us go beyond fear. If you need help to help you go beyond fear, talk to us. I'm one of those who will help you walk through that journey. If you don't get to me, every level 5, level 6 hospital, level 4 hospital have mental support services. Present yourself there. And you'll be treated and you will be whole.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for keeping it real. And to our viewers, this is not to scare you. This is what this show is all about, that we can have honest conversations based on truth. And we like to say at the Kingdom Connect that the Father is pleased to give us the kingdom. And part of that kingdom is for us not to walk in a spirit of fear, for our minds not to be oppressed, suppressed, and depressed. We can look for solutions, and we can talk to professionals in different fields that will tell us the truth. So what would be your parting shot, Daktari?
Join us at the Kingdom Connect. We connect you to the Father, who is willing to give us the kingdom. And those who choose to walk with the Father, we are his sons and his daughters. We are kings and priests. And what I love about it, there is no royal priest. Royalty has absolutely nothing to do with poverty, nor does kingship have anything to do with poverty. So we're gonna be members of the kingdom, living out our purpose that God created us for, and in the process, enjoying royalty and kingship. Join us and let us grow and invest together. That's my parting shot.
Thank you, and thank you, because courtesy of you, we've had many doctors sign up, and we are walking this journey together of everyone being in their place of assignment in the marketplace, but building wealth together, and not just for us, but for generations. Because like we have said, somebody has got to shift the narrative, and we thank God that that's what this show is all about. Thank you, and we do look forward to having you again, Daktari, so that you can tell us the steps you've been taking towards your own financial freedom. I'm sure it's not what it was when you discovered doctors were being paid 6,000 and lecturers 14,000. I'm sure there's been a journey of growth.
A very big journey of growth, for sure. But it all started with the mind shifts. We need to shift our mindsets.
I look forward to us having that conversation in the next show. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. We hope that you have enjoyed this session, and we do look forward to keep connecting with you as we bring more professionals so that we can keep having these candid conversations. Thank you.